breaking news is Treyarch just dropped the reveal of DLC 3 for Black Ops 6 Zombies, including the name of the map, its logo, its release date, and several teasers that we've had so far to explain the story behind the map's name, and so much more. So let's just dive into everything, but I'd love to know your immediate thoughts in the comments below. Here is the Zombies map logo and the official reveal of the map's name, which is officially titled Shattered Veil. Now, straight away, that is such a different Zombies map name to anything we've had before, and in my opinion, it's such a badass name for a Zombies map. Extremely different to what we've had so far, and is so much better than the generic wording of the mansion. No longer will we be referring it to as the mansion, it is now Shattered Veil, and alone the logo actually reveals a lot more about this map than what you might first realize. But what is also glorious is this was shared with the caption simply Season 3, which confirms that the Shattered Veil Zombies map is going to be launching at the start of Season 3, alongside the launch of the Verdansk map for Call of Duty Warzone. But first of all, a map name like Shattered Veil is just so much more interesting than simply The Tomb or The Tomb, so I give massive props to Treyarch for coming up with a Zombies map name that is just so different to anything that we've heard before. But what's really exciting is the name holds a lot of significant storyline weight and lore. So let's break down why this map name is so significant from a storyline perspective, and the term Shattered Veil holds many meanings. So a veil is typically something that covers or conceals or separates something, but it's typically something that we can't see. In the context of the Black Ops 6 zombie storyline, the veil is absolutely a reference to the Dark Aether, as it's something that we know is there, but it isn't a realm that exists within the normal world. It's something which is there, but there is a veil of sorts, a barrier between the normal world and the Dark Aether, and only with super complex technology are able to breach that barrier and enter the Dark Aether. But when you have something like a Shattered Veil, then that barrier between the normal world and a supernatural realm shatters and is no longer protected of sorts. And in the case of the Black Ops 6 zombie storyline, this could mean the breaking of that barrier between the normal world and the Dark Aether, meaning that there is going to be some sort of massive shift to where there's a possibility where the Dark Aether realm will no longer become this sort of secret thing that only a few people are aware of, could manifest into something a lot more significant, that it becomes part of the normal world. What has been teased so far for the lore of the Shattered Veil, there are so many things that we can look at as being huge plot points that could be referring to this map's name. Like we said, the map's name 100% infers that the Dark Aether is going to have an extremely big role in this map. One of the biggest clues that we've been given so far to suggest this is the fact that at the end of the Modern Warfare Zombies End cutscene, Ava Jansen is on site at Liberty Falls to investigate the area 30 years after the events of the upcoming Shattered Veil map. Near the end, we see Ava look into a mirror, which then shows a reflection of the outside of the mansion, as well as a shadowy character out the front, which we believe to be part of an unknown group simply known as the Shadow Smiths. The fact this was mentioned for such a small amount of time within the ending of Modern Warfare Zombies, and the significance of this shadowy figure being in front of the mansion, says to me that there is going to be some massive explanation and storyline explored here with this character. But right at the end of the cutscene, we see the mirror then transform into a Dark Aether portal, where we see someone reach out who Ava believes to be Samantha Maxis, who then drags her into the Dark Aether and then disappears, confirming what was already suspected about Liberty Falls and the mansion area having a massive Dark Aether presence and connection, with this mirror being able to materialize into a Dark Aether portal. But what is crazy is in the Liberty Falls intro cutscene within Richtofen's room, he has the exact same mirror, which almost confirms that the room Ava Jansen is in fact Richtofen's bedroom, just simply 30 years later, confirming that even after several decades, there is still a massive connection to the Dark Aether in this location. Another huge connection with this map and the Dark Aether is the fact that housed in an underground lab is a containment sphere which houses the Forsaken and Samantha Maxis inside, who are both now trapped within the Dark Aether. For several years, Richtofen studied the Forsaken and the Dark Aether within this containment chamber in the underground lab that he built in the mansion. During that, developed the Synaptic Algorithm module, which is an AI based on Samantha Maxis. And as we can clearly see from the ending of the Liberty Falls intro, Synaptic algorithm module AI became sentient and thrusted Richtofen into the Dark Aether, going against her programming, seemingly like as if she's being taken over by the essence of the real Samantha Maxis, who is trapped in the Dark Aether. But the S.A.M AI having the power to thrust people into the Dark Aether also lends heavily to the idea of the map's name being Shattered Veil, where no longer is there such a close guarded connection to the Dark Aether, but seemingly opening and being used in a really aggressive manner that no one but Samantha herself understands, because somehow she's been able to get the power to sort of control the Dark Aether like she used to be able to. And furthermore, the map name Shattered Veil also plays in super heavily to the idea of Richtofen's Project Janus, which is that secret organization which, as we began through the maps, have learned to realize that the intention of the project is to use Ethereum to manipulate space-time and the potential of being able to time travel. We've speculated for quite a while now what the wording of the project means, with Project Janus named after the Roman god Janus, who in ancient Roman religion is the god of beginnings, gates, transitions, time, duality, doorways, passages, frames, and endings. And the map name Shattered Veil really does sound like it's going to be finally building up and explaining everything about Project Janus, leading in again to the idea of the Dark Aether being able to open up a passageway or like a duality between the Dark Aether and our normal reality at will. And looking a bit more at the logo, you can see that some of the letters seem to be sort of materializing in and out of reality, like they are half imposed into the world and half still trapped within the Dark Aether. And I really hope that that plays into some of the actual gameplay elements that we're going to experience on the map. Like if we look at a map like D Machine, where we could literally go into a Dark Aether version of the entire map, imagine if, based on the teaser we got of that portrait, that seemingly seems like we will be going through versions of events where they'll be in the normal world, then events also in the Dark Aether. We sort of saw Treyarch play with this a little bit within the Tombs Pack-a-Punch area, but I'd love it if like full-on areas were just fully in the Dark Aether and we got to see parts of the map transform and change. Based on the portrait of that painting, who we believe to be Josiah Shem, he is the original person who created the mansion, who was drove to come to Liberty Falls by his flock to build the foundations of the mansion, as he was seemingly brainwashed, which we now know was potentially by the Order, which is the religious organization that we see in the Chaos story, represented by the robes that he's wearing in the portrait. And ultimately, we know what the stakes are going into this map, where we know that the S.A.M AI is evil and that Richtofen is trapped within the Dark Aether. So by shattering the veil between our normal world and the Dark Aether, it seems very likely that the main majority of the story will involve the Dark Aether, potentially saving Richtofen, and there being some major plot twists. I'm just so happy that at a fundamental level, it sounds like this map is going to take the zombie storyline a lot more seriously than what we have seen in the past two maps, and really fill us in on several years of waiting between Black Ops Cold War to now to really dive into the gory details of Edward Richtofen, to dive into Project Janus, and to really take the story to the next level. But with them revealing the map name as well as when it is launching, we must be only days away from Treyarch and Activision giving the full-blown reveal for Season 3, giving us a full-on map description as well as several more screenshots. But with this being another teaser on top of the other teasers that we've been getting every single day for the last week, there still might be even more teasers for the Shattered Veil on the way. As when we got the map name reveal for the Tomb in January, we got several more teasers of map areas before we got a ton of official details on map features and gameplay stuff like the new perk, Gobblegum, field upgrade, ammo mods, wonder weapons. And with the season being delayed by 2 weeks, because it was originally supposed to drop in 2 days, that gives Treyarch a lot more time to tease, and that's what we've seen so far. I'd love to know all your thoughts and theories in the comments down below. If you missed yesterday's teaser for the Shattered Veil, I'll leave that on screen for you right now, but make sure you subscribe because there could be more teasers dropping daily, and if you want to make sure you see them the moment they drop, you'll want to subscribe with the bell tick.